And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, where the second half of this particular match between the Robin Hood and North Village Rams is about to start. The score, again, as a reminder, is 2 to Robin Hood and 1 to the North Village Rams. And offensively, a wonderful move starting from the center of the circle didn't quite work out, whereby number 15 took his eye off the ball for Robin Hood, and unfortunately, and then Dimitri is in there and he's going to pump the ball forward, and unfortunately it was not in the direction he was looking. But Ralph Bean's in the passing lane. He's cut that particular pass out, and a sweep to the left hand side towards number 99 Pierre Smith was also inaccurate. But that was a running play away from the thing. Had Pierre had given himself a target, maybe Bean would have been able to actually find him. And Dimitri's on this, and he's found himself time and space. Passed it back to Bean, who's going interiorly. Now Bean is going back. And now they're going to have to go all the way. My. A look-off pass almost caused a problem for Village, where Bailey would have been caught. But the ball went into touch defensively by Bailey, and they get the throw, and they've now dispossessed Robin Hood. And unfortunately, Bean didn't continue his run, where Bailey was asking Bean to run, and another favorable bounce, and it's moved on. And Keyshan has gotten this ball, and he's looking to possibly put through Taki Walker, and Taki Walker has slid the ball underneath the defensive line of number 4, and now they've cleared their lines, and up steps. And that's over and back. That's over and back by the forward of Robin Hood as a result. And it will come to the benefit of the North Village Rams. And they start the ball right at the half there. And as a result, DeShields has actually moved the ball back about 5 yards. And Jerome Bailey's now got this on the left-hand side. Bean comes down underneath. Goes back to Dimitri, gets the ball back to Bean. Bean is now going to Burgess on the right-hand side. The ball's being passed to, and it goes back to Burgess. And Jason Davis is looking to ask for it, and he's, nope. And a nice look away, but some movement there by Taki Walker. And Dimitri is now in the center of the circle, and he's now looking to find, and the pass is not going to get there. It is swept away and by Briars, and Briars goes back to Burgess, and as a result, over to the other center back, and DeShields is going to try to find the passing lane, and they're looking to go over the top of the defensive line, and they found one, ladies and gentlemen. Bailey is down. And unfortunately, Jerome Bailey on a one bounce was able to try to knock it forward, and it ran off his foot and into touch, and Robin Hood will get to clear it, and they do so only to the foot of number 8, Dimitri, who's gone inside internally, gone to the side. An attempt to go across the field, eluded everyone but Burgess, who was able to come back, and Burgess can go over the top into a passing lane. And who has he found? Sham Bean has gotten the ball, and he's attempting to go in the box, and he's being stabbed at, and he's going to try to square it. And a corner has resulted as a result of that attempt. Credit the defensive work of Robin Hood. A beautiful pass, 30-40 yards from the right side of the field, not too far from me here, just above the half by Terrell Burgess. Found Bean, found the passing lane, and has resulted in the corner where Taki Walker will try to actually, and this is nice, and up skies Burgess, and a glancing header defensively, and then off of Burgess's head, put the ball towards the direction of the goal, but not with the accuracy that Burgess was looking for, because the ball was slightly misdirected, and the ball went over the top of the goal, and Jason Simons will get a goal kick for the Robin Hood. Struck very well into the center of the field. Up skies Pierre Smith, and Smith holds up the movement of the ball. The ball favorably bounces for Robin Hood, and Tevin Terrell is looking to put the ball interiorly. Was cut out by the center back, DeShields. DeShields goes forward, and wonderful play, and equally astute reading of the game by number 5, the center back of Robin Hood, Alex Martin. And now the ball's in North Village's possession, and they go here. Burgess goes to Davis. Davis goes back to Burgess. They're pulling them down a little bit, looking for those passing lanes to open up. They're going inside to Dimitri. Dimitri attempts to, and he's been dispossessed, and he's going to have to work, and he did work to clear up his error and put the ball into touch, where the defensive line of Village will reconstruct and try to actually get another dispossession. And they go inside. Ball's been allowed to run. Pierre Smith was able to be the beneficiary of that run, and as a result, Keyshawn Bean was attempting to be put away, and Bailey is looking to win this ball with Lejean, and the ball's just bouncing around there, and here comes the service. Briars is looking to get this, and Bailey is fed the ball back from Dimitri, and Dimitri, Bailey is being bothered. He's ganged very, very quickly. Even Lejean has not been able to dispossess him, and Bailey goes back, and the ball's now put into a passing lane where Keyshawn Bean is running down, but he's covered. He's covered, and the ball was allowed to run free into touch. Keyshawn thought that he was fouled as he was attempting to get the ball under control, but the body of the center back was put there, and when Bean went to stab, he struck the body of the player and went to the ground. And Simmons deposits the ball on the far side, and Pierce, and oh my, Jerome Bailey's going to have to work, and the ball's knocked into touch, and a throw-in will ensue in the final third of the Village's defense, and a wonderful quick attempt to pass, and the ball's flicked onto Takiat Walker. Walker's just going to sweep this ball out to Davis, gives a little structure, and Davis comes inside with a little dribble, goes back to Burgess, and Burgess is going to look to draw down the strikers. Oh, and he's been dispossessed. Oh, that was not the time for that there, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, Michael Armstrong saw goal at around 30 yards and thought that he would attempt. There was definitely going to be a 2-on-1. But he chose to sweep the ball and kick the ball for the benefit, out of danger, well over the top, way to the far side, and Troy Hall Jr. is assisted by a fan to get the ball back onto the field. Nice little evasive move, a tug on the shirt, and the ball's in possession of Village, and Briars is going to try to go long into the interior, and this is an interesting ball, but cut out by the goalkeeper and watched to the benefit of the goalkeeper by number 4, Joseph Piera. Nice long kick over the top side of, and this is settled nicely by Antoine Russell, but then unfortunately the attempt to flick on didn't quite work out for, and Briars has got to move this ball down the left hand side in the favor of Pierre Smith, and Pierre is on the way. He's got one to go, and he's gotten around his man, and it's a chasing situation to the baseline. Can he service? No, it's cut out. Wonderful, and swept away by Tevin, and unfortunately wasn't able to clean it, collect that, and gone into touch off of Bailey. And a nice throw down there, and Tevin is on this and underneath. Oh, and I think feet must have, trailing foot of the defender trying to get back, stopped Tevin, sort of interrupted his run. He was looking for a foul on that situation. And Jason's going to have to be astute here, and he's going to Burgess. Burgess is going to Briars in the center of the park, and it's knocked outside here. And Jason's gone, and he's going to get assistance by Dimitri, and Dimitri's looking to go back to Burgess. Bean has come into a position. He's looking for the ball. Briars is just going to touch it back, I'm sure. He's drawn down Tevin. Tevin has a continuous run, and they've gone and found the passing lane. Oh, a beautiful control by Keyshawn Bean. He's going to look for what we call a splitting pass, but he's found Ralph Bean underneath. Dimitri's going to run inside with the dribble, and as a result, Jerome Bailey has come up, and he's going to go. He's run again, and he's through, ladies and gentlemen. And up stepped Jason in a wonderful position. He stood his ground, stayed big. And unfortunately, the drive went directly to Jason Simons. It should have been more accurately in the spaces around him, but wasn't meant to be, and as a result, the score remains 2-1 in favor of Robin Hood. Internal pass there, wonderfully done by DeShields. DeShields' pass was going to Pierre Smith and cleared by Robin Hood, and back to DeShields. And DeShields is looking again for a probing pass. He goes over the top of the line and headed down defensively and wonderfully underneath. And this is going to be an interesting situation where they're going to have to construct. Oh, and the pass was almost had too much mustard on that. And up steps Pierre, up steps Dimitri, and Dimitri has found. And it's a wonderful outside play to Takai Walker, who's here on the right-hand side. He's going inside to Bean. Bean staying patient. He's going to found Dimitri. And Dimitri goes over the top to Pierre, who knocks it back outside. And Pierre is going to clear this ball. And I thought Juan was going to lob right away, but he didn't do so. He chose to stay with DeShields, and it's a nice knockback for Pierre. And he's got lots to do. He goes baseline and cut out by DeShields, and away comes DeShields going to Dimitri, and Dimitri goes inside to Bean, and Bean will turn time and space, and he goes even further wide to Bailey, and Bailey's going to have to catch up with this, and he does so, and keeps his teams inside interiorly to Ralph to Keishan Bean. He's got space, and he's being bothered. Oh, and now the referee calls the foul. Takai Walker's turned off, and unfortunately, to the yell of Bean, because he was going to restart very, very quickly, and he was going to provide an opportunity for Takai on the far right-hand side, but he had turned around and didn't see what the potential was there with that fast restart. So the ball's now directly, I would say, in the middle of the park, ladies and gentlemen, at around 28 yards. And Ralph Bean is stepping back. No, I'm sorry, Burgess is stepping back. This could be his specialty. Lots of time to get over the wall and down. He runs up, drives. No. That was just a bit too much there. Attempting to get over and down just was met with too much velocity, not enough technique, and the ball is outside of the stadium, and new ball is inserted into our game. Definitely wasn't what I think Burgess had on his mind, and maybe the run was just too much, too far, therefore causing too much velocity in the run-up. The game started again. Pierre Bailey is underneath this one defensively, and knocked down by DeShields. Bailey has to come back, but it's in the hands of Tevin, and Tevin's been blocked as he tried to move, and ball is being moved around by Burgess, and Burgess is going to go long as he drives this ball. Interesting between the two, and knocked on, and just enough of a header back down there by the center back, and Jason Simons is looking to knock this ball down. Allowed to run there, pumped on to Antoine. And Burgess stepped up, but between the legs. And this, yes. Burgess knew that Antoine was in an offside position and put his hands up. Now releases Jason Davis, and Davis is knocked inside to Dimitri, and Dimitri's going to turn. And fortunately, he had cover because the ball was knocked away by number 12, and now it's retrieved by Burgess and into the hands of Dimitri from Bean, and Bean has released DeShields, and Keishan Bean moves up into the interior there, does a spin, and he should release. The call came from Takai Walker, and unfortunately was not able to deliver that one. He chose to go more direct and was cut out by the Robin Hood defense. Ball's thrown deep into the defensive third by North Village player, and Burgess is going to go 30-40 yards. It's chested down cleanly and put into a position for number 6 to start this particular play, Jalen Bather, and it's bounced favorably to Tevin, but Terrell Burgess is there to cut that out, only to the middle of the park, where Robin Hood receives it and tries to start their attack again, and they do so with LeJean Simmons, and LeJean is fed, and Bailey's underneath this, and he's put the ball favorably in Ralph Bean's vicinity, and the ball's gone to Dimitri, and Dimitri finds Briars underneath, and they push the ball forward where Bean is going to come underneath, and Takai Walker is going to attempt to be released, and they're probing. Takai Walker closed by Pierre. Joseph Pierre punched away, and I don't know if it's a corner as yet. Substitutes here in front of me in red. North Village are doing substitutions. Number 16 is up. That's Joel Duffy, and number 18, Corey Boyce, is going in. That's not Corey Boyce. No. Yeah, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong scenario here of numbers. 16. No, Corey Smith. And number 18, Jazarde Samuels. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, I was looking along the wrong team roster there. And these two gentlemen are in. I don't know who came out, but Burgess has now got the ball, and Jazarde is playing on the right-hand side. Oh, he came in for Takai Walker, and the ball's with Briar. So Briars put the ball back to Burgess, and Burgess goes inside to Briars, and Briars is back down. Underneath is Burgess, and Burgess is going to go to the goalkeeper. Goalkeeper will feed back to Terrell, who's now got time and space to look up, and he's looking for Bean's undercutting run potentially, and it's going to happen, and Bean is there, and it's over. Oh, and it should be a flick. Oh, Bean had beaten the defensive line, but he had gone beyond anyone who might have been providing any cover back there. And didn't quite work out for him. He took a gamble, and as a result was caught in an offside position. And another substitution is being made. No, this one now is on the Robin Hood side. Potentially he's not been made, but it looks like number 21, Marcellus Thomas, is there awaiting to get into the action here. The possession is in the Robin Hood favorite. Antoine Russell has swept the ball into the middle of the park for number 12, and he swept the ball further to the left to number 4, Joseph Pierre. Pierre is going to number 15, and 15 tries to punch the ball in, and it's bothered. Oh, and it's swept away by Burgess, and Burgess has just put this ball down, and number 6, Ballard's going to try to go, and as a result, blocked out by a fast approaching Keyshawn Bean, and they're going to have to defend it. And now the referee is going to acknowledge the substitution ball on Robin Hood, where number 15 is coming out, Michael Armstrong, I think, and in goes number 21, Marcellus Thomas, and credit his effort. And Tevin knocks his ball on, and Burgess is just going to volley it away into the center of the park, and where Bean ran underneath of it and was bodied out, unfortunately, but he's pressing the action of Bather, and the ball is back to where Burgess had just cleared it. It's punched down specifically. And knock. Oh, well done by Jason Davis. His effort is being potentially going to be rewarded. No, and it does bounce favorably though. Bean eluded Lejean, and Lejean kept his foot in there, and Bean was upended. Now, ball's put onto Dimitri. Dimitri is gone to Bailey, and Bailey is and the ball's been pushed into a space where Bailey is going to have to defend. Attack, and the Robin Hood's going to have to defend, which they did, and they've given up a corner. Lejean Simmons defended it well, swept the ball into touch, and Village have another corner where they're looking to press the action so that they can bring the score level at 2-0. Wonderful corner. Oh, this is interesting as well. Up, but defended initially, not too far, and who's underneath it? And there's a drive done by number 18, Judge Zarde, which ball went high, his first touch. Simons, and Marcellus goes up with Jason Davis, and Davis wins that battle. As a result, great defensive header, but in the possession of the Robin Hood. Ball's being thrown down the line. Oh, an errant foul throw there, and Keyshawn Bean is underneath this. Oh, it's interesting, and unfortunately, almost a wonderful layoff. Dimitri is underneath this. He's evaded in the middle, and the ball's put through, and and he's around beautifully going baseline. Here's your square, and it's just trickling, and here comes Oh, and unfortunately Ralph Bean was not able to get there fast enough, and LeJean Simmons is running down the right hand side with the ball, tried to feed interiorly and was cut out, and Village get the ball back. And LeJean is not in a defensive position. He's going to have to try to get back. He's trying to do that, but the ball has been brought out by Village to actually construct in the manner that they want to attack. And the ball's with Jason Davis, the right back. The ball should be rolled interiorly. No, it does not. There was too many people there following Dimitri, and now the ball is with Ralph Bean. The ball's knocked into Briars. Briars looks to construct. It is in with Bean's hand. He's going to dribble initially, and he's going around and it's poked away, of which Burgess is looking to step up, and he found Jazade, and Jazade's looking to dribble, and he's going across. He's going to pass interiorly, and run up, and it's a drive, ladies and gentlemen, and that drive is deposited in the back of the net. A wonderful work up along the defensive line of Robin Hood. The undercutting run of Keishan Bean put the ball in a position where it was then deposited. I don't know who scored that goal. Who was that? Jazade, who scored that? Dimitri moved into a position after Jazade was running the line, passed it to Bean, inside-outside play, and the pattern was run by Dimitri, who drove the ball past an outstretched hand of Jason Simons, the goalkeeper, and now the score is now 2-2. And Bean has stepped up and aggressively. And Jazade has won the ball, number 18. He's looked to go interiorly to Bean, and he's fed, and the ball is knocked into the gap again, where they're going to have to sweep this ball away, and it's swept away into the parking lot, almost up to the building side, against the building potentially, and now down where it cannot be retrieved. It's in that area where they sell plants and stuff like that. But this game has definitely now heated up for both teams, and the ball now, and the game has been thrown in. Ball has been thrown in, and the game has resumed, where Briars is now operating on the far left-hand side, looking for a pass. He stepped over one of the ball, fed Bailey. Bailey's going to have to get to this, and he is, and he's met defensively, and the referee is over there, Augustus, and he rules that the ball is still in the possession of North Village Rams. Ball thrown in by Bailey. Out comes, I think, the substitution there, and he's working hard, and the bounce now comes favorably to Bean, who is going to go to Davis here, and the ball's rolling right in front of me. Davis is now moving towards the internal pass, was axed by Keishan, and it is now been cut out, and the ball goes to Jade. Jade is looking to move, and he's doing that same sort of pattern run, plays the ball in, but the passing lane was shut down this time, and up steps Burgess, and Burgess is with Antoine, and Antoine has won this out, and he pushes the ball a little bit too hard with the instep, where he wanted Tevin to actually run, but well ahead of him, to the point where Tevin could not catch up with this, and the goalkeeper came out and cut that particular opportunity of Robin Hood out. And now Burgess is operating on the other side, and unfortunately that pass went all the way, rolled tamely to Robin Hood, where number 12 is fed a ball diagonally, and it's beaten Bailey, and an incoming LeJean. Bailey finally gets around, uses his body, was able to turn on the gas there and stop LeJean from actually getting around him. Beautiful move by Dimitri, and then an internal passing lane on the left hand side, and who's running right over there? One of the substitutes. The pass comes, Bean was looking for it, maybe behind the defensive line. It was in front of the defensive line, and it was cut out, and Robin Hood now have the ball with LeJean, and LeJean does well, but up steps Briars, and unfortunately, a wonderful cut out there, ladies and gentlemen. That ball was also as equally orchestrated by Robin Hood, cut out there by DeShields, and he attempted with the aid of another player to put the ball into an attacking position, and the player was called offside. And the referee, Augustus, has been summoned to this side of the field by the assistant referee, and they're conferring here. He's watching the clock, obviously. And I think he's walking towards the Dimitri, but it's in the possession, in the direction. Oh, an errant scenario. It's worked out. Jadzade got the benefit of it, and Jason is also dribbling. And Jadzade went inside. Wonderful flick. Bean's going to have to do something, and he's done it. Settled the ball down enough. And Jadzade's done a wonderful move again, as he seems to be able to dribble in a position where he dribbles off the defensive line, and this is causing some problems because he's evading 2 and 3 players. And Briars is over there. Oh, he's okay. My. The ball was attempted to be gathered by Briars, and he was defensively pushed into the fence. You heard the fence shake and move, and as a result, ball's knocked entirely, and no one was on the move there. And Briars is okay, and Dimitri's going to get underneath this, and up steps the right back, and then he's knocked the ball long. Credit. And these players now are looking a little tit for tat going on over there, and the referee's quickly able to smother any sort of discussions that are happening, because players felt that they were and as a result, I think the referee is having consultation. I don't know if he's carded anyone. Oh yes, it looks like, yes, he's carded both players for dissent, and getting together there with an intent. And as a result, there will be a free kick in the favor of Robin Hood. And the potential for hostilities has been averted. Let's hope that all players on the field will get back to playing this game. It's been played at a good pace, great competition, skill is there as well. And here comes the kick. Over the top of the defensive line, well headed out, and an attempt to drive the ball first time was met by number 12. But Dimitri Daniels was also a body in the way, causing the player not to get the direction on what he was looking to do. There's a 2-man wall there in front of number 21, Thomas, who's going to try to put this ball into a dangerous position. He beats the wall, and all goes Troy Hall Jr., and he punches the ball cleanly away. Number 8 steps up to attempt to drive on goal. It does go toward goal, but to the far right of it, and no further danger to the North Village. Bailey's going to go long. He doesn't go long accurately, and right to number 8. And unfortunately, a tracking back player for Village was able to knock the ball down, and Keishan Bean is following this ball out there, and he's drawn, but he's getting the benefit. He's in the box, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to try it. Oh! A whistling drive, ladies and gentlemen. Kept rising, definitely on target, but kept rising from a very acute angle. Jason Simons, it was in that particular area. He had nothing to do ultimately, but the angle was acute, and it also in the end was not accurate. Here comes Simons, puts the ball into touch. Briars heads this ball defensively. Bathers under to collect. And he slipped the ball out, and unfortunately not far enough. And over the top of the defensive line, there's a running play. Oh, in the benefit of... and it's over and back. It's over and back, where unfortunately Antoine Russell was ruled to be in an offside position when the clearance came from the Robin Hood team. The ball did bounce freely into the benefit of him, but unfortunately didn't quite work out, where the referee assistant ruled that it was an offside, and now the game has been decided. DeShields goes over the defensive line, and Briars is looking to run, and oh, he's done a wonderful job to retain possession. And there's a dribble inside. Briars is looking to go baseline. He does so. And the ball was finally knocked away into the corner position. And we have one substitution going to be applied as soon as possible for the Robin Hood. And number 18 is awaiting to get into the action. And that's Corey Boyce. And the wonderful corner close to the... Oh! And there was some hush, potential appeal, but the referee has ruled that it is a goal kick. And as a result, oh, that, yes, definitely, DeShields had jumped on the back of Antoine Russell. Russell does that so well in terms of using his body to shield the ball, and unfortunately had drawn DeShields into a position where he was fouling. Thomas is on this, number 21. Marcellus at around 30 yards, 32 yards. And here he steps up. He's going to try to beat the defensive line again, and he does so. And, oh, and, hey. And as a result, the goalkeeper, Troy Hole Jr., did not think that the ball had gone out. He did actually mishandle the ball, and had he been a little bit more astute, as a result, he would have allowed that ball to go over the touchline because it was only him. But I think he was surprised by the fact that no one had actually come onto the ball. And then he quickly ran to his right outside of his post to try to gather the ball. And when he did so, he bobbled the ball over the goal and tried to bring it back. And the substitution for Boyce and Trevin Tyrrell has been made. And number 14 comes out, and Boyce is going in, and the ball's played in there. Oh, defended and knocked on, and it looks like Robin Hood will retain possession because it was defended by Village. And Boyce is causing a lot of movement in his first initial introductions there, taking the place of Tevin. That means he's been put into an attacking role, and a foul throw right away there by Robin Hood. They unfortunately have turned the ball over, where the opportunity for trying to get an opportunity to score has gone awry. Village have the throw. They throw it back deep, and the ball's blasted away and onto, and the ball is out. Antoine Russell, being brave, attempted to put his body in front of the ball, got the benefit of the blast going forward, but the ball had gone over the touchline when he finally caught up to it. Now it's going to be a goal kick. Troy Hole Jr. surveys, drives the ball. It's beaten the center line. Up goes Bather, knocked on wonderfully though, and into the direction of Bean. And Bean's going to put a foot to it, doesn't quite get it. Bather gets the ball and feeds number 12. Number 12 is going to go over to the far right to LeJean Simmons, and Simmons has to keep it in. He's done so, but he's drawn the attention of Bailey, and Bailey's caused him to put the ball into touch. But balls to Davis. Davis has gone down the far side. Oh, it stayed in. Oh! And as a result, ball's thrown to Bather by number 4. Bather goes over the top of the defensive line, and Bean was able to get to this, knocked on, and Marcellus sweeps the ball blindly but accurately over there to the far side, and DeShields got the benefit of holding his ground and was able to clear the ball up to the center of the park. And Bailey's run out to receive this down the left-hand side where he feeds Dimitri. Dimitri will go internally and to Bean, and Bean is looking to do much the same, and this ball skips just a bit too much pace on that, where they are attempting to continue to exploit the passing lane, what we call the channel, just between the touchline and the 18-yard box. Village is attempting to exploit that area. They've been doing it fairly well, but that time it did not work. Up goes Briars defensively, knocks the ball back into the middle of the park. It's met by Jazade, who puts pressure and almost causes a turnover, but there's an attempt to, a nice play into a passing lane, and Boyce has won this, and Marcellus is looking to service. It's to the back post and slightly over and encroaching LeJon Simmons, who did his best to try to keep the ball in after it bounced once and over top of him, and unfortunately his outstretched leg knocked the ball into touch. And we are at the 25th minute mark. 35th minute, I'm sorry. We're knocking on time here. We've got 10 minutes whereby whoever potentially scores the next goal will end up taking all the points in this match, and both teams are being resolute about doing just that in terms of trying to create as many opportunities as possible, and the same, I must say, for the defensive side, trying to defend as many of the opportunities that take place. The ball is bouncing wildly, and Bean is going to look to feed out Jason Davis here on the far right hand side, and Jason is looking to feed Jazade, and Jazade is going to go again with that horizontal dribble. Ball's pushed internally, beats Bather. Bean is looking to enter the box. Ball's laid off, and unfortunately not enough mustard to actually get to. And Briars had an opportunity, and the ball is attempting to be put over the defensive wall, and unfortunately Bailey didn't do the correct thing, and the ball is going back now to LeJon Simmons, who's going to try to exploit and is drawing the attention, and speedy scenario. And there's an opportunity. It's in the back, ladies and gentlemen. As I said, it's in the back of the old onion bag, and those who score this score may potentially end up winning. And who has scored? It's the Robin Hood, who comes away with an attempt, and the clearances just were not of a quality to get rid of the threat, and as a result, Village are going to have to dig deep. Liam Evans has put his team in front, and Village are going to have to dig deep to actually bring the score back into parity of 3-all, because the score now is at 3-2 in the favor of the Robin Hood. And Liam Evans, number 8, and they found Bean again in that channel and they continue to exploit it. Bean's going baseline. We're going to have to be careful, and Bean astutely played it off the defender, who was cutting down the angle towards goal, and they get another corner, and Boyce has been asked to go back to assist in the defensive duties. And I think, yes, it would be better if he went even further back, because truly he is a consummate defender, and he's just there. No, he's watching Bean though at the top of the box, and now he's turned his attention to the corner, and unfortunately Terrell Burgess was not able to get the direction on the ball he was looking for. It was on the backside of him, and the throw takes place, and Boyce has struck this ball away. Perfect position, really, because it's bounced right in front of me at half, and as a result, Jason Davis was going to have to restart this particular match, throwing the ball over, and it's into Briars, and Briars has put the ball in place. Bean is there, and Jazade knocks the ball through, only temporarily, and an attempt to clear has gone over there to LeJon, and LeJon looked to feed a running play onto him by himself, and DeShields is over there drawing him in, and now Bailey is away, cuts the ball into Briars here in the middle, in the center, and as a result, Briars has chosen to reverse and he's gotten the benefit. And the ball goes across to Jason Davis. Davis here has drawn the attention of Antoine, and he's put Antoine on his back heels. The ball slipped, and credit Bather for being able to stay resolute, reading the play, and was able to cut it out before it was doing any damage. The ball's gone all the way to the far side by Antoine Russell, feeding LeJon, and that's a handball. That's a handball, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, little bit of complacency there by LeJon Simmons. No one on him, but he put his arm down because he didn't want the ball to bounce and go outside. And he's turned the ball over, and up steps DeShields. DeShields goes to Dimitri, and Dimitri's going back to Bailey, and Bailey's looking to probe down that left-hand side. He goes internally, and Boyce has stepped up and stolen this ball, so they've turned the ball over, and again a turnover going back to Village, and Bean is moving forward, and unfortunately he's been bothered by number 21, Marcellus, who pushed him over, and as a result there's going to be a card. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I thought that might take place, and as a result a free kick is about to be taken, and it's over the top of the defensive wall. And before the referee could actually finish his duties of carding, putting his note in his book on Marcellus Thomas, number 21, Bean attempted to start the play, and the ball has been brought back. The defensive wall is being asked to take a few steps back of the Robin Hood, and referee Augustus and Bean is going over the top into a situation. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we have a situation by Tyrell Burgess, and as a result, the referee assistant rules that it was an offside scenario that took place where Burgess was in an offside position, and as a result, that goal was not going to stand. Well executed by Bean and Burgess, but and Simons is going to drive this ball up, and there's a slight. Oh, my, yes. Definitely a foul. Boyce was using his arms, pushed Briars over, and as a result, now it's in the hands, and the referee has asked for the ball to come into the position where he was at, and as a result, Village will start this particular thing. They go into Dimitri, and Dimitri will go potentially to Bailey. No, he chooses to stay with it and go internally. It's a big boot put on it, and Russell has gotten this ball, and he slipped it over the top, and Burgess will look to cut that out. And as a result, number 13, DeShields, will run this down, and he goes back to Burgess, and Burgess is going to look to put this ball in. Oh, a miss hit, partially cut out by Antoine Russell, and an attempt to run on, and as a result, an attempt to feed Marcellus, undercutting run, didn't quite work out, and Jason Davis is away. And there goes Briars, and Briars is looking to run the lane. The ball is punched into the middle of the park, defended. And Jazade attempted to put it back in. He's going to get the bounce back. A dribble takes place, and the ball struck and caught by Troy Hole Jr., and he releases DeShields. And Robin Hood are anticipating the final whistle. They're going to go over the defensive line, and they just was able to defend it. And Boyce is underneath this, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, finally defended by Robin Hood. And as a result, the ball's played back to Pierre and driven down to the corner here and knocked. And as a result, the ball goes into touch where Marcellus was chasing, but they're deep into their own third, where North Village is going to have to throw to get out of trouble initially, and definitely have to retain possession. And Jazade has allowed this to run, and it's swept again. Joseph Pierre pushes the ball again deep, where a throw-in will have to take place, and as a result, Jason Davis sweeps the ball. Antoine Russell's got this, and he's looking to dribble, and he's going to the corner, and he's run out of room there, where another throw will take place. So obviously the tactic is to pin them down here, and now the final whistle has gone, ladies and gentlemen, where the score has come, or the game has come to a close in the favor of Robin Hood, where 3-2 score has settled this particular match. So the score, again is 3-2 in the favor of Robin Hood. And here we are leaving the Goose Garden Arena after a wonderfully contested match between these two teams. And we can only wish them well as we bring to close in the next 2 or 3 games the Bermuda Football Association Premier Division. Both of these teams looking to do what they need to do is obviously stay out of relegation, being one, and the other one also now are potentially in a position where they will have to start to think about doing much the same when they play their next match. Stay tuned to the standings at the BFA or BermudaFA.com for results that are posted there. And there's lots of congratulatory scenarios going on with the Robin Hood, because this game was a huge win for them, because they may have actually leapfrogged the North Village team or drawn level with them on points. But we'll get to see that when we take a look at the standings, which will be probably posted at the Bermuda FA website. So with that, we will leave you here in Bermuda. Again, for those of you who joined us live, and those of you who joined us via the radio and via the internet around the world, this is Stan Bean signing off, along with the cameraman Wendell Wenji Simmons from Wenji Video Productions here in Bermuda on the 2nd of March 2015. Good night to all.